Hit go live.
I did hit go live. Shoot, we're live. We're live. Oh God. Oh God, I forgot to do it. I thought I took it off. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Oh God, I'm sorry. Anyway, it is great to see. I didn't mean to say it. I didn't say anything.
We're rolling, rocking and rolling.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming and tuning into our Thrive and Edu community. It's been a while, Rachelle. How are you doing?
I am great. I'm excited for our conversation tonight. I've been looking forward to it all week because it's going to be like the official kickoff here, talking about ISTE coming up, and our guests we've had on several times. So, just doing all the things, getting ready this week. So
I wonder if you can guess who our guest is going to be. This person has been on, this will be 4 times. This will be 4?
3.
This will be his 3rd time. It is a he. He really likes Taylor Swift. And what else could we say to guess?
It puts up with our shenanigans and games very well, is very engaging. And I know that whenever people comment and everything, it seems like we get the most comments and interaction whenever we have this person on with us. So
very
that
positive.
Is a definite sign. Yes.
I think
absolutely
he
positive.
Is like sunshine. He is like sunshine.
Hilarious.
Especially on a cloudy day. And he's funny. And if you guess who it is before he comes up, we'll give you 10 cool points. We got nothing to give away.
10 cool points. Yeah. And I will say something that got me through the end of this school year were some of his, and I can't remember if it was Reels or TikToks, one and the same, but just like the teachers at the beginning of the year and the teachers at the end of the year and how they're feeling now is just like super funny. So I'm very thankful to know our guest and to have gotten to know our guest for the times that we've had him on here. So yeah.
Hopefully you can guess him. Also, there's a big hint on the bottom of the screen. Anyway, before we bring him on, how are you feeling at the end of the school year? How do you feel?
The year ended?
Did it end for you? Are you still in school?
No, it ended 2 weeks ago, but it seemed to be like I was one of the last people. And then I ended and I went right into a conference in Colorado last week for a couple of days. And so trying to catch up. So this is like what feels like the first week of, summer off that we get. So yeah, but it's good. It's good. Yeah. But it's weird that next week is July. That's the thing that's getting me is like, so June is almost done.
God.
Yeah. Next Saturday is July 1st.
What? Oh my gosh. Right. Oh my gosh. Well, we better, the month is going by and so is our time.
I know.
Do you have any shout outs? Do you have any shout outs today?
Yes, the amazing group that I have in my statistics course, and not that they will be listening, but I'm just going to say it's been great. It's been very difficult taking this one course because it's very time consuming and I'm not that great at math, but we had a group project, which sometimes, you know how those can go, but it was so nice to come together and to talk last week. And I think it just reinforces how important it is to have somebody to connect with and talk to whenever you're stressed and going through something, whether you're an educator, whether it's the summer, whatever role you have, even just in daily life, like you always need to have your core group of people and a wider group. So my shout outs go to all of those people that have helped to support me over the past school year. And then in the last couple of weeks, especially. So,
yeah. I have a shout out. I am actually in South Carolina right now. I am staying with my dear friends, Dr. Mervyn Jenkins and his lovely wife, Chiffon. And so this is why it looks a little different for me. So, and we're actually celebrating his newest book tomorrow at his favorite cigar shop. And we spoke it into the universe and it's happening. So I want to give a shout out to both of them. And they are just wonderful people. They're just wonderful people. So yes. All right. So if you haven't figured out our guest, nobody's guest. So you introduce him, Rachelle.
All right. So I'm not gonna hit the button to bring him up because
I'm gonna bring him up.
We usually do it at the same time. Yeah.
Our handsomest guest, our handsomest, most fun, All right. What else?
Just a Swiftie. I don't know. Gotta throw that in there. Yeah, it's Josh
Hello,
King.
hello.
Welcome back. Time number
Hey,
3.
thanks for having me back. I'm excited. Can
Yeah,
I give a shout out? You guys got to give out shout outs. Can I give a
Give
absolutely.
a shout out, Josh.
shout out to my barista from Cafe Smitten because I went so many times this summer that now they officially know my order when I go. So shout out to him. Made my day. That's what I have.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can relate to that at the bakery that's near my school, because they kind of know when the order comes in, and then if I put it in wrong, they're like, did you really want this skim milk in your latte? I'm like, no. And then the one time I ordered a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich with peanut butter on top by accident. I don't know how I did that. They were like,
Okay.
I thought that was a little odd. So it's nice when those people, like when they know you and you go in, but that does also indicate that you're there a lot. So the coffee must be needed. The caffeine's needed, but you're enjoying yourself, and that's important. So
Exactly. That's all that matters.
Well, Josh, how did the end of your school year go?
It went well. I feel like last year was one of those years where it felt like it was going by real slow, and then it went really fast, and then it was like summer. So like the last month, I was like crunch time, trying to like get my students prepared for testing, get grades in, do everything, and then summer hit, and I was really happy. But I heard, Rachelle, you were saying that you ended 2 weeks ago?
yeah.
Oh no. See, I've been off for about a month, but we start
Wow.
mid-August.
Okay. Yeah, we're like August
do too.
21st or 22nd.
Okay. Wow.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been out since May. Something.
Wow.
Yeah, the schools are different. Like our teachers in our school, like, I mean, and a lot of schools around here too, they have a lot of extra like professional development days built in. So then that extends the school year. So that's why it seems like it's so much longer, but it's okay.
Oh.
We're glad you're here, both of you. So glad you're out of school. I don't know if you follow Josh on social media, but he sang the last day of school to everybody. Yeah. It was a tribute. Yes, it was wonderful.
You know, I have
So
fun with it.
do you want to sing it right now?
No, I'm good. Not right
Okay.
now. I have to warm up. Yeah, no.
Oh, next time, right?
Next.
Like we'll kick off back in August or September or whatever, and you can have a different song then and just sing it for us and get us all.
Only if I could do the jingle. If I could redo the jingle and make a new one for you guys, that could be really fun.
That would be
That's.
really fun.
I think that you should.
Yes.
Let's do it, and we need to get Josh on the jingle too. We need to get him on the intro because he's now been a third-time guest. It's like Saturday Night Live. People are gonna be like, "I've been on Rachelle and Mel for like, or Thrive O'Clock like 5 times."
Right.
So.
I wasn't going to say anything, but my FOMO did hit hard when I was watching that. And I was like, okay, I will email you some pictures and yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We'll put you on there. I will. Yes. All right. So are you going to be at ISTE next week, Josh?
EVERFI is going to be at ISTE next week, and they are very excited. And I hope you guys can come visit. And anyone else who's watching or tuning in who listens on the podcast later, you can visit EVERFI at booth 704. That is 704. And there's a lot of cool things that they're going to be doing. I will say this because I'm allowed to say this. There will be sloths. And it's going to be sloths of fun. Giving away some stuffed animal sloths, and they are the cutest things I've ever seen.
I want one. I saw that. I'm like, how can I get myself one of those?
Yeah, 704.
Get a sloth. What is the sloth for?
You know what? That is a really good question. It's a really good question. I like to think that the sloth is for when we need to slow down and learn something and soak something in and just take some time for ourselves. I think that's what the sloth's for. And it's sloths of fun. And that's really fun to say.
And you know, like I knew what you were talking about because I knew about the sloths. Because I know at the booth and I've been reading on social media posts, but whenever you said it at first, I was like, oh, that's awesome. It's kind of like a Vegas-y theme because I was thinking you said the slots.
Oh,
because like the giveaways, you know, I was going to say, and I'm glad I remembered, like, no, not those, that kind of sloth, like a sloth that I was going to say, Mel, that's like perfect for you because you're going to feel like you're in Vegas and not in Philly. So, but yeah, I did see that.
I'm going to put that in my notes that maybe to win a sloth, you have to win the slots.
Yes.
We call it sloths and sloths.
Yeah. And I want like the old school where you actually have to like pull, not push the button digital. And I want a sloth to come out as well as coins to come out. I don't like the old, like the voucher. Like I don't want to have to get a voucher that I have to go to a ticket window to turn in to get my sloth. Is all I have to say.
This is genius.
Win the sloth at sloths.
I mean,
that's
but we're at a
genius,
tech
Josh.
conference and ed tech, and so like one would assume that would be like the streamlined process. But I would very much appreciate like the old school of that. So anyway, so we have ISTE coming up next week, and it's, I mean, we're all educators, and people are saying, I'm sure, have said, if not now, over the years, must be so nice to have like your whole summer off and everything. And I joke all the time, even on like throughout the school year during Saturday afternoons or in the evenings or something, that people are learning at conferences, and I will joke and tell people, oh, aren't you enjoying all your free time in your summer off? Like here we are on a Saturday afternoon at this conference, and I've always been excited about summer for the possibilities to do some learning, although on a more relaxed, hopefully, schedule. So we have like ISTE seems to be like for me like the kickoff of lots of other opportunities for summer learning. But then I think it also builds awareness for people that like, oh, I didn't know that there was PD, there was on-demand webinars or different things offered here, but they find that out because they go to these conferences where they make connections. So I'm excited about like all of the possibilities that are going to follow through, even though it means that school's going to start that much quicker because the time's going to fly. But Josh, what about you? Things about like ISTE and summer learning, anything that you want to share?
I just kind of first of all, I need summer to like slow down, because for the first couple weeks, it was taking its time. And I was so okay with that. I was like, cool, it's only Tuesday. Like, this is great. But now you kind of hit me with the aha of next week's July. I don't know where the last few weeks went, but something wild happened. And I don't like it. But talking about ISTE, I know EVERFI is super excited to be at ISTE, and just reminding everyone that these resources are always free. EVERFI's resources are always free. It's K-12, so we have resources all the way down from kindergarten, all the way up to 12th grade, from financial literacy, social emotional learning, which is now being titled character education, reading literacy. We have health and wellness, STEM, so much to offer. So if you're at ISTE, please stop by booth 704. But talking about this summer, I know you guys are probably the same. I do spend my summer. I like to give myself time to like relax and maybe hit vacation or do something, but also to kind of refresh and refocus. Like, hey, what can I do differently this next year? What can I find to incorporate into my classroom to make it more exciting, more fun, more engaging? EVERFI is a great tool and resource for that. But ISTE is also that opportunity to give educators a chance to see a plethora of examples and ideas to incorporate. So that's very exciting. What are you guys be doing at ISTE?
Oh, Lord. A lot. Too much to remember. I can never remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, presenting. We actually get to present together on Sunday. And Rachelle's like, if my plane gets there on time.
I know. I've been tracking it all week to see, because it leaves at 8 in the morning and it's supposed to get into Philly around 9:15. So there's some time there, but there have been a couple of days in the last 10 days that it's not left until like 8 or 9, which luckily it's only an hour flight. So we'll see what happens. But I will get there. And if I happen to be late, Mel will have it under control and I'll just come blazing in and just.
She better be there. Our session together is sold out.
Yeah.
There's
so excited
she
for it.
better be there. So is all I'm saying. I'm sure they're going to see Rachelle. So I'm glad, that we're.
Congratulations, guys! Sold out. You just over that one. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And I told that to Rachelle last week, and she's like, I have another session. There's like 187 people, and I'm like,
stop.
I'm like, shoot. But Rachelle's a big thing at ISTE, and I'm looking forward. I am presenting quite a bit. I'm presenting more this year than I have at other times, and I'm going to be also at the Spaces EDU booth the whole time that I'm not presenting. So that's what I'm doing.
I will be running around to some sessions and some different booth presentations and just kind of hanging out at some of the booths and then exploring. I love going to the expo hall. There are so many things about ISTE I love, just like the open spaces, like with poster sessions, the playgrounds, getting into the expo hall to see some of the companies, and a lot of my friends work for the companies, so it's nice to see them. And then also to make the connection with people that, you know, you've not met in person in those spaces. So I just think, you know, learning, people get stressed out about like, I don't know what to put on my schedule and where to go, and you try to fit everything in, and like, it's impossible to fit everything in. And you, no matter what you do, you're not going to do something wrong, because you're still going to learn. Maybe it's just you bump into somebody and you start a conversation, and like you walk away with all these ideas, a new connection, and you're like, oh, but I didn't make that session. Mel and I hope that it's not our session, because it wasn't to come, but
come to our session.
You know, like
it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be so much fun. We have an interactive learning lab. So
yes, we do. So it's going to be great. It's going to be very quick, and then wrap it up on Wednesday with the events on the main stage that I'm excited and nervous for. I try to figure out which way to point to me. It's like this way.
Oh, there we go. That is so.
Yeah,
so
it's like the opposite.
Wait, Rachelle is going to be on the main stage at the end, right?
Yes.
She's not a keynote, she said, but she's going to be
keynote.
ending. She's going to be a speaker on the main stage.
Yes. So I've got to prep for all the things, and yeah, no, but it's exciting. It's truly an honor, and I love all things ISTE. So I'm excited. It's hard to believe we're back again. It is. I feel like I was just running around last year in ISTE, and but maybe that's because FETC was in New Orleans this year, and so that's my recollection, same space. So we got summer learning, and I know that, and I was looking earlier this week at EVERFI, and every time I look, because I'll look at things like financial literacy, because I talk about, you know, like, well, what if, you know, kids have to know how to pay for things beyond like a check or like the old school, like credit card kind of thing. And financial literacy means so much more now. So I'm like, what do they have for financial literacy? There were things there about the metaverse. There's lots of PD for teachers. And I know a big concern is, one, I don't have enough time. Two, I don't teach about these topics in my class. I don't know where to begin with the resources. I'm not trained for this. And what I love about it is that you can go there and you see like, oh, there's on-demand webinars, or, oh, there's all these lessons. There's so many things available that like, it still takes you time because you have to go and explore and everything, but it's nice to know that you can go and get some free resources to use for your students. They're constantly updated to meet the needs and demands that are out there. So I'm not the expert here, so I'm going to defer to you, Josh, to tell us about like, what are some things for educators like that they should know about learning and the possibilities with EVERFI?
Absolutely. And you hit right on that. So number one, it is free. Like teachers, we always want to find the free things. Like, and when I say free, I don't mean, okay, sign up, it's free for the first week. No, this is like no strings attached, free. If you don't want to use it, it's still free at the end of the day. Like you're not going to be charged. Number two, it's ready-made and already set up for you. The biggest thing you have to do is have your students log in, sign up, and then you're ready to go. You create classes. And for me, as a third grade teacher, I have my kids on the Compassion Project, which is character education. I have them on WordForce, which is reading literacy. I have them on Vault, which is financial literacy for elementary students. And those are just a few of the elementary courses. But when you get into middle school and high school, there's so many more life skill courses that are so meaningful and useful for these students. For example, a TurboTax course that teaches kids how to do taxes. I could still use that today because I still get confused with taxes. But imagine as a high schooler, you're giving these resources on how to do your taxes, how to file your taxes. What does it mean? What do all these words or numbers mean? And they can learn that for free. And those are life skills, important life skills that they can take with them. We also have a newer course called Sustainable Investing. And it seems very kind of wordy and confusing, but it's actually really cool. And it teaches into the fact of, what am I investing my money in that is going to help make the world a better place? And it dives into all of those life skills as well that are new. Those are newer life skills that we probably didn't think of 10, 20 years ago that right now we have to think of for the future. And so EVERFI has so much to offer. I get excited talking about it. I get excited talking to other teachers about it as well, because sometimes they either had no clue or they didn't know what was offered, or they don't want to spend money, or they think they don't have time to lesson plan. It's all done for you. All you have to do is click a few buttons and it's right there. And you can start with your students, whether it's online or offline. Maybe you are on the Chromebook or on the computer a lot and you don't want them to just be in front of a screen. You can do and utilize the offline lessons, and those are really cool too, and interactive with the students as a whole group.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to cut Mel off on I thought Mel was going to say something. The thing that I like about it too is, I mean, again, just for teachers to say, oh, I'm teaching about this topic and I don't know where to go. And you don't have to like lead the lesson, like the kids go in and they can work at their own, all of the different options that you have available. And keyword free, of course, is important for people, because of budgets. When I've done some different conference sessions, when I ask about like barriers to certain things, whether it's like STEM or STEAM or just different topics, I mean, the number one thing, well, there's kind of a tie, of course, time, but I don't know that that is ever going to truly be resolved, but it's the budget and, what resources are the most valuable and to invest your time in. And so I, of course, love things that are free, but that have so much to offer for all levels of students, and then also the support that teachers need too, as they're, getting involved in these processes. So that's my 4 cents.
Yeah, no, and all that to say real quick is over 5 million students use the EVERFI platform a year. And so that's really cool to think that EVERFI has reached that many students. And with that, and I don't have the numbers in front of me here, but not just the 5 million, but students don't just take one course. There are so many high school and middle school students that utilize 10, 12, 15 of these courses a year, and they get certificates and they get certificated. And it's such a proud moment for them to see these life skills that they're getting to take into the real world. Mm-hmm. And we've heard from so many high school students, especially some of our scholarship winners or our scholarship students who are submitting for scholarships, their testimonies and their stories of just how much EVERFI has helped them to prepare for the real world. And that's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Mel?
I hate that you're doing this. I want to enjoy my summer break, and now I just want to go back and teach. I mean, honestly,
take your time.
I'm not just saying that. Really, whenever I hear these great ideas, and it's going to be at ISTE as well, whenever I hear about all these great things, it really makes me want to go back and just like put it all into practice. But I'm definitely going to use EVERFI the next school year, and I'm excited, especially about the character education. And that's like, it's not SEL anymore. It's character education, which is good because we want to take away any controversy from that, because we all need it and we know that. Right. So yeah, I'm totally ready to check that out.
Yeah. And if you need any help, just hit me up. Let me know.
You're my friend. I'm going to hit you up. I'm going to say, Josh, give me the skinny on this.
Yes.
We'll just have you back on again to like have like an open question discussion forum. Just to throw that out there. So any other things, tidbits, information that you would want to share about like EVERFI? I mean, we've been sharing, if people are going to ISTE, of course, be sure to stop by the booth. If you have questions and you see any of us walking around, I mean, don't hesitate to stop and ask us, like happy to talk in person. And then we have the links we've been dropping. I know Mel's been dropping them down there as well. You can check out the site. There's lots of blogs too. If people really like, the learning doesn't have to always mean like you have to sit and go to a conference or watch a webinar. I mean, there's podcasts, there's blogs, there's all of these different things we can learn from. And EVERFI has a lot of blogs and a lot of really great topics. So even just that, go outside in the morning, grab a cup of coffee or favorite drink of choice in the morning, juice, some nice latte. And then, pull up a blog and you get a lot of ideas right away. So.
Okay. No. What is your, sorry, go ahead, Josh. My question is, go ahead, Josh.
Okay. All I was going to say is I'm glad you brought up the website, and I think it was scrolling down there for a little bit. But what's really cool about that when you get to the course offerings is all you have to do is type in whatever grades, whatever topics you're into, and it's going to pull up the courses right there. There could be 5, there could be 10, but it won't be as overwhelming as looking at all of our courses that are offered. So it's specific grade, specific topic, bam, bam, bam. This is what I want. And then it'll tell you everything you need to know, how many lessons, how long it's going to take, what you need, and it gives you kind of the rundown. And usually there's a video on every course, which is really cool. So yeah, check out the website.
Do you think that these would also be good lessons to have ready, like for your subfolder?
For sure, especially if your students are already used to it. I wouldn't say to throw a sub, like throw it to a sub without your students trying it, but like say my students, they're working on WordForce and they've done it several times. If I know I'm going to be absent and that's something I know they know how to do, they know how to access, they know how to act with it. And that's a big thing that we all do in like the first few weeks, how to manage being on the Chromebook, how to utilize or use an app or a course that we do. Once they feel comfortable with it, 100%, I would recommend it could be a really good tool for a sub as well. Okay, because when you're saying like it's all spelled out for you, I mean that's great. I would love to step in the class and do that. So cool, very good. Really quick, what is your favorite thing that you're looking forward to for ISTE? What is the best thing, or what is your best advice for people that go to ISTE? Oh, that's a really good question, because I would say that anytime I go to a conference, I am known to just like collect all the pins. So my best piece of advice is to hit up every single booth and see how many pins you can collect. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to do that, but I have never done that. I'm doing it. Challenge accepted. I can't wait to take a picture of all the pins. Okay. Let's do this. I'm going to get the pins. I will meet up with you at the end, Josh.
Oh my gosh.
See who has the most pins.
That sounds like a great plan.
And it's, like if some people get t-shirts, but pins they weigh less than a t-shirt. So I think that's really good. Who has the best pin that you've ever seen? Has there been a pin that stand out that you remember? I will say that EVERFI in the past gave out flare pins.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've never met a teacher that does not like a flare pin. So
that is true.
All right. They hit the jackpot. All right. Yes.
No, I think just like connecting with people and getting to meet teachers that like usually we see each other on social media or online. Actually getting to like meet face to face or to have a conversation like face to face is really cool, and it's so different, and that's really special.
That's my favorite part too. And I love meeting people. I remember the first ISTE I went to, I was so overwhelmed with and I had my schedule like all out, and I actually wrote it out. I didn't really know that there was an app at the time because it was my first ISTE. You don't know everything at your first ISTE.
Right.
And I remember feeling exhausted after like 3 presentations. I was like, this is deep. Like I was not. So I don't think the presentations are great. I say limit yourself to like 2 amazing presentations that you really want to go to, and then make sure you go to the expo hall floor, because I think that's the most fun place. I think the expo hall floor is the most fun. It's loud. You don't have to be quiet. You get a lot of selfies. You get to meet people. You get a lot of free stuff. So that's what I think. That's what I want to share.
Yeah.
Lots
I
of fun.
agree. Oh my.
What is your advice?
My advice? That before you get overwhelmed by looking at all the sessions and the conference app and everything, and go to the website, see the kind of things that are offered, the kind of sessions, but think about like, what are your goals? Are there people that you've connected with on Twitter and different spaces and communities that you've never met in person? Figure out when to have coffee, when to meet up with them, because like those chances clearly, like if you've been friends for 3 years, you've never met in person, like this is your chance. The sessions will be there. There's lots of sessions over the course of the days, and some of them are recorded, so you can go back and watch them as well. And then don't feel so constrained by the schedule that you set for yourself, because chances are you're not going to make that session, because you're going to run into somebody. There's going to be hugs. There's going to be selfies. And then you're going to sit down and have a conversation and totally forget about where you were heading in the first place, end up going in the opposite direction. But you're still going to learn. And so that's what I was so bound by my schedule the first year, but I felt myself like I couldn't get from point A to point B, which was like 200 feet, because in that path, you hear people calling your name, and it's like, oh my gosh, we've never met. And just those hugs and all of that is so valuable and important for us too. And that means a lot. So when you have the time to do that, hey, Frank, then you should do that. So it's about the relationships, the connections that you make in those spaces, and don't worry about the learning, because it's going to happen wherever you are. Even at the end of the day, when you're exhausted, get to some of those social events, meet some people, and take notes, and that's about as good as it gets. I mean, all the water and shoes and all those kind of things, like, yeah, all that. But I'm all about the coffee. What is your learning? What is your mission of who you want to connect with? So.
Oh, I'm all about the coffee. Frank, thanks for reminding us of that. I'm just teasing. That's actually really good advice. And it's funny because 4 years ago when it was in Philly, I remember seeing you at a distance, Rachelle, but I hadn't really like talked with you much at that point.
Yeah.
So I remember feeling really intimidated. All these people that I saw, which is so funny because now these people are like regular people in my life that I talk to daily.
Yeah.
But from a distance, I was still very shy. I didn't know that I could just approach them and they would be super friendly. But I don't feel that way anymore. And like, you know, so I can't wait to meet everybody. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We have a couple of minutes. Do we want to play our game or do we just want to keep talking?
I have a couple questions for you. I won't be playing the game. I'm going to be making the game up.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Are you ready?
Is this
Making the game up.
Yep.
As we
I love
go.
the conference game. I love this.
It's my favorite game.
Yeah.
So here's question number 1. So you can only take, just as per like typical fashion with concerts, you can only take a small little plastic bag in with you. That's it. What are you taking in that bag that's going to enable you to survive through whatever you might experience in the conference that day? What are your, like, say 3 items, your 3 must items that you're going to cram into whatever that bag is?
My phone charger, because I'm going to be wanting to tweet or to take pictures or to text about it. And if my phone dies, I'll need a charger.
I'm going to put my phone in my pocket so that I can have things in my bag.
You're not allowed. You have to carry everything in the bag.
You are really hateful.
Rule breaker.
Okay, for sure the phone.
Yeah.
And just, Josh, you're right. You have to have your charger because there's usually like the worst, the worst internet ever.
Yeah. Oh, and my hotel room key.
Boom.
There you go.
Boom.
Nobody needs any money because you could pay on your phone. Like, it's all good. No, but they're all cashless. Okay. Question number 2. You've just like supermarket style, you've just been given 10 minutes to run wild in the expo hall, and you can grab and take anything that you want, from the stuffed sloths to the Prometheans to whatever it is. What are you getting? What are your must-haves? Mel?
Okay, I'm definitely going to get a sloth this time because my kids, I want to have that sloth. I am going to grab, I'll probably grab a Spaces EDU cup. They're going to have these really cool cups. So I'm going to grab that. And then I'm going to grab a handful of pens. I'm just going to go through all of them. Like Josh said, I'm just going to swipe all of the pens. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Fun story real quick, and I will make it really quick. I was just at the beach with my family. We spent a few days, and they had like all these channels on this TV, but the one channel that they had was Supermarket Sweep, and it was the whole channel was Supermarket Sweep, and we watched it all weekend. It's the only channel that was on. So when you said that, that was really funny. Very kismet. But I would make sure to grab a t-shirt for every day of the week. So I want 7 shirts. I want enough stickers to fill up my water bottle and to give out to my students next year because we all need free prizes. And as many pins as I could grab. And a sloth. I don't have a sloth. I know you're I don't have one. And so I would also like to have sloths of fun.
Sloths of fun.
Josh, I really like how your brain works. Like, I'm really impressed.
I know. That's why we like having you on.
Yes, like you're very pragmatic. I love it. So yeah, what he said, I like it. I'm doing that too.
All right. And last question. So you're at a conference in a city where you may or may not have ever been, and your friends want to go out to eat. And is your preference, it's kind of like a would you rather. Would you rather go to a Red Lobster? Sorry, Mel.
Don't knock it.
No, I'm not knocking it because I understand it because I understand like if there's something that is in Pittsburgh, like when I'm away, I don't want to go to it because it's in Pittsburgh, but if I don't have access to it. So when you go to conferences in different cities, is your preference, would you rather eat at a place that's like an establishment that you know of and you're familiar with their food, or are you more like adventurous and you'd like to go to like the diners or like the local, like just walk around and find a place and just base it off of that? Or do you want to stick with like what you know?
Listen, there is no Red Lobster in Alaska. So
I know.
If I can
that's why you're allowed. That's why you're allowed to go.
Red Lobster, if there is one close by, I will probably go to it. Otherwise, I'll just go wherever my friends say, because as long as the drinks are flowing, I don't really care. And that's the truth.
valid answer. I would have to pick local. It has to be something local. It has to be something kind of new and adventurous. But I feel like you don't need a Red Lobster in Alaska because you probably have like legit seafood places.
People
right?
say that, but listen. It doesn't taste the same. Okay, it's different.
Is it the bread? Is it the rolls?
It's that, and also fresh seafood tastes different than Red Lobster.
It does. Yeah.
And you know what? It's less fishy at Red Lobster. I mean, there's just something, the garlic and the salt. I mean, it's on everything. So I don't know.
It's all about like the roll, like the biscuits, the cheddar biscuits too. I mean, like I will give you that. Support local, Frank says. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I will say about Philadelphia or any conferences, I do like to go out to find some interesting places depending on, you know, what I'm in the mood for as far as food goes, and something that's kind of quaint and unique and different. So I do look forward to that. And I check things out ahead of time. I don't necessarily always buy into like
you
all the
pick
reviews
really good
and everything.
restaurants.
I try. I do try.
Yeah, you
so,
do. I'll vouch for that.
So that's my conference game. It was just, you know, you can only take these items, but I was going to throw you a curveball when I said for question 2, we grab whatever you want. But remember, it has to fit into your little... But I didn't do that. But I'm surprised, like nobody picked, like I'd be picking the robotic dog that they have. I don't need a Promethean. I mean, I love Promethean. I have one in my classroom. Some of the different robots and coding things, I would be all about those. Yeah, the sloth, I would definitely grab a few sloths. But other things, don't
be greedy. Just take one sloth.
But I don't need the shirts and things. I like the hand sanitizers. I grab the chocolate. I will tell you, Mel knows I grab the chocolate because I never get to eat when I go. So I always need like something. Can I have a Minch?
True.
Can I have a Jolly Rancher? That would fit in my little plastic bag.
Listen, I'm pro full-size candy bars. Seriously.
I love that's why I'm coming to the booth every day.
Full-size Snickers. We got to do it. Oh
my gosh. All right. So we have talked and chatted about lots of things. ISTE, EVERFI, learning, Rachelle's random questions, and had a really great discussion. So last thoughts or advice or anything you'd like to share, Josh?
Always last thoughts. Make sure to check out everfi.com/K12, browse our courses. And then final thoughts. Taylor Swift did just come out with her Eras tours that she's doing internationally. So my final thoughts are always buy the tickets, figure out the rest later.
Yep. And I can vouch for that since I went last week and it was just all parts of it. Even if you don't so much like the music part of it, like if you don't know all the songs, which I don't know all the songs, but just the whole production and the dancing and the choreography and the lights and the bright, like everything about it was really awesome. So it's an experience. Like it's not just like you're listening to music, like it's the whole experience. So I appreciate your last thoughts and advice for EVERFI and also for Taylor Swift. Mel?
I just say, you know, if you're going to ISTE or any other conference and you see somebody that you think you might know, you know, even if you don't know them and there's somebody else that, you know, you didn't even know, just make sure to go and say hi. You know, that's the best part of any conference is really just making connections and making friends. And if I've gone by myself a couple of times and I've always left with great memories and good friends. And so that's the best part of our jobs. It's the best part of education. And that's where it's at. So, and I'm glad to be connected to both of you. And I can't wait to see you guys and take lots of selfies. You know, those selfies come in handy in the wintertime when it's really cold and you're by yourself in Alaska. I was just saying.
Yeah, they do. No, great advice. Well,
yes.
If you're headed to Philly, we will see you there. And if not, we will see you again on Thrive sometime, not in the too distant future.
All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again, hopefully at ISTE. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.